got the moves, Jeff.
I don't have any moves, but I can't help it. I was inspired by that. That was amazing.
When the wobble started playing, I was trying to hold him back there. He was like, let me out on stage. I want to dance for the people.
If I could have been in that costume and you didn't know it was me, I'd have been out here all over the stage doing that.
That's an idea now. Now when you see all the mascots, you'll question if it's Jeff Gordon under there. Now,
No,
Jeff.
you'll know it's definitely not the mascot.
I'm seeing a lot of fans out here. You're still rocking your 24 Jeff Gordon gear. So we got the crowd out here, and I have not seen you since you kind of started your brand new role. And the Daytona 500 was quite a race to have you in the booth out there, and you did a great job, didn't you?
I'm having a blast. Of course, starting the career off with the Daytona 500 is certainly very special, and a lot of pressure as well, but to be able to have a race like that, and then of course that finish was just incredible. So yeah, that was very special to be a part of that, and for that to be really my first broadcast in opportunity in the booth with DW, with Mike Joy, Larry McReynolds, and Fox. It couldn't have gone really much better than that. So now we followed up here at Atlanta with we've already seen great stuff happening on the track, a new aero package, some drama and excitement last night with qualifying, and I think plenty more to come for Sunday.
And you've been kind of guessing things that are happening. You were behind the wheel not too long ago, but in the final 10 laps in the Daytona 500, you said something was going to happen at that point in time. So if you're going to guess what we're going to see here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, what do you think we're in for tomorrow at the Sprint Cup race?
I mean, when you've come out of the car, from the previous season, you just have a certain amount of knowledge. I mean, I think we've seen this over in the NBC booth as well with Steve Letard and Jeff Burton, and so it's great to be able to bring some of that knowledge into the booth and talk about what's current, what's happening, because I just came off the track. So I mean, I wasn't trying to predict anything. I just had a feeling, as strong as Denny Hamlin was, even knowing that he's working with his teammates, but being in that 4th or 5th position, that if that outside lane started forming, that was his chance to win the race, and it was nice that he did that.
Now, we all love Atlanta Motor Speedway, but the drivers love it a lot too with its weathered surface. What do you love the most about racing at Atlanta Motor Speedway?
Well, obviously the fans love it too. This is an awesome crowd. Finally, we have some good weather to deal with. It's only going to get warmer for tomorrow, so I think that's going to make it a really, really special race day and weekend. But yeah, we're already seeing less downforce on the cars on a track that's abrasive. The drivers already love this track, and boy, let me tell you, they're driving. Seeing it from a new perspective up in the booth, in the camera angles, and seeing these drivers' hands working inside there and their eyes just completely glued to what's happening in front of them, you can tell and feel and sense the intensity inside the car. So I always love this track. This is always one of my favorites. I love the multiple grooves up near the wall, straddling some of the seams, trying to paint that yellow line, as we call it, around the bottom. And then the new aerodynamic package, I think, is going to allow cars to get a little bit closer and race a little bit more side by side. So I think we're going to see a phenomenal race. We've seen some of the closest finishes in NASCAR history. We talked about Daytona last week, but we've seen some incredible close finishes here at Atlanta. So that's all I'm hoping for. Daytona, I wanted good weather and the closest finish in Daytona history. I got that. So now I just hope that we have the same thing in Atlanta.
And I'm so used to getting a chance to talk to you right before you're about to head into a car. You're typically in a fire suit like I am, but I don't get into a car. I just chat with you guys.
Role reversal. She's in the driver's suit and I'm not. I'm in a suit.
With a microphone. That's just what you transitioned into. So how is it for you to now see the 24 car, Chase Elliott going to there, a young guy? It's kind of going full circle with you. How is it seeing Chase Elliott take over the number?
Well, first of all, I'm a huge fan of Chase. He's going to do incredible things in this race car and at Hendrick Motorsports. So I couldn't have been replaced by not only a better race car driver, but he's just a great guy. And so I think all those 24 fans out there are going to have a lot to cheer about moving forward. So I know you're excited about that as well as I am. It was a little weird in Daytona, I must say. I wasn't really feeling awkward or like I was missing it, but when that 24 car pulled out on the pit road the first time, it definitely got my attention and made me think a little bit more about my new role. And then they sat on the pole, which so on one side I was extremely excited and pumped up for them and the team and Chase, and it was great for the sport. But then at the same time I was like, man, I'd like to be driving that fast race car. So yeah, and I'm sure we'll go through that more as the season goes on. But I can promise you, there's not a bigger supporter or fan of Chase in the 2014 than me. And I'll just apologize now if you're listening to a broadcast and you hear me talk about them and you're like, boy, he sure is biased towards them. Yes, I am.
You were only driving that car since 1993, so do you have any flashbacks to that first year? You're seeing Chase into that car for his first year, but what do you remember about your first year driving in that 24 car?
Well, unfortunately, my memory, the way it works, is I really remember the bad things more than the good things. So I remember backing into the wall in 1993, or I should say 92, in the very first race here. And it was awesome and special to be a part of that race with Richard Petty. I remember Burt Reynolds was here, which back then was a really big deal. But it was, to me, it was a very surreal experience to be a part of that. In '93, I don't even remember how I did here in '93 as a rookie, a true rookie in that season. But I can tell you that Chase is going to do extremely well, and he's going to have a lot of nervousness, and especially him being from Georgia. I think this weekend he's got a lot of fans pulling for him. Yeah, right, Georgia fans pulling. How many Chase Elliott fans we got out there? That's right. I say this all the time. Junior's the most popular driver. If Chase Elliott starts winning some races, he might have some competition. I think the last one to take over that title was Bill Elliott.
I love the history here, but I saw a lot of fans shaking their head when you're reminiscing about starting out your rookie full season. So do you guys any chance have a question for Jeff Gordon?
2001, coming off turn 4 last lap. If that car hadn't been in front of you, could you have beat Kevin?
Ooh, you know what? When I watch that video, and by the way, if you've not seen the last 25 laps of that race, go to YouTube and YouTube that race, 2001 Atlanta. I don't know if it was like the Cracker Barrel 500 or whatever it was that year. It was some of the most incredible racing. There was about 5 or 6 of us took the green flag on that last restart, and we battled it out, and so many positions were swapped, and to me that was just one of the great classic races that I was ever a part of. And then for it to come down inches between Kevin Harvick and myself at the finish line was certainly an awesome way to finish it. But I went into turn 3 and 4, and Kevin had done a great job getting a bit of a gap on me, and I went to the bottom just sort of hoping and praying that maybe I'd hook the bottom and get a run on him, and I did. And he left that bottom open. I kind of wish I would have done it the lap before. Had I done it the lap before, I think I'd have been a little bit closer to him, and I might have been able to make a move on. But that car ahead of me, I didn't think it had really any impact on the finish. I just happened to hook the bottom and get close to him and make it interesting. Well, I'm sorry you lost your bet. I promise you, I lost more than a bet. Yeah, we got to cut that. We got the last word that year, though. That's for sure.
Question for you.
Where you at? Oh, okay.
I'm short. Yeah, do you have any intentions of starting a race team in the future, whether it be Infinity or truck or anything?
Now, why would I go do anything crazy like that? First of all, I'm partners with Rick Kendrick, the best car owner out there, and have been for a very long time. And so, I feel like my equity and partnership there in Hendrick Motorsports is anything I could ever ask for. I could never go and do anything more if I did it, I'd want to find a partner. I want to clarify something real quick, and I hate getting into business stuff, but we talk about charters. I know you guys are hardcore fans, so you follow some of this charter stuff. Let me tell you, there are no rich car owners out there that became rich from racing. They are rich because there are other businesses, and they got into racing because they love racing and it's a hobby, and then it got really expensive. And the reason why this whole system is happening is because these guys are spending a tremendous amount of money, not to mention the smaller teams that are needing to secure sponsorship to just make every race. So to know that they're secure in every race, that they can be there, they can go back to sponsors. So this is good for the small teams and good for the big teams, but there's nobody making fortunes off a race team. So it's not a business that I truly want to be in from a business standpoint, but I love racing so much that I'm hoping one day my involvement with it can help it turn into a profitable business.
This is my special needs daughter, Leslie.
Hi, Leslie.
She has been a fan since '93.
I can tell. She's got all the
I just
gear.
want to ask you, can you even imagine how much she loves you and what a big fan she has been? And thank you for all you do, all your charity work and your foundation. And thank you for meaning so much to my daughter.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us. We appreciate that. I get overwhelmed by fans, all the time, and it's so kind of strange to be in my position, and I wake up every day and I brush my teeth, I get in the shower, whatever, I get ready for my day, and I don't think of myself as anything other than a normal person. But when you have people that want an autograph or a picture or have tattoos of your face on their body or something, it's a very surreal and overwhelming experience. So to get to meet my biggest fans and people that support me and have for many years is always very special. So thank you for sharing that with me.
And I just have to say, NASCAR has the best fans in all of professional sports, but also the drivers. They always make time to talk to their fans on social media, in person. I love NASCAR in that sense, so I love that story. Thank you. Any more questions from the fans on here?
Jeff, quick question. Do you foresee in the future either Ella or Leo following in the footsteps of the greatest driver in the world?
That's a good question. Ella seemed to show the most interest early, and we got a couple quarter midgets, one for her and one for my son Leo, and she got in there and did really, really well. I don't know if it's stuck though. When we finally got her ready to go racing and she's approved to race, she was to do that. The final step was to be out there with another car, and he's kind of bumping her and passing her, and she's having to pass him, and I think that pretty much solidified her future. She said, "Yeah, I'm not as interested in this anymore." Now Leo, I think we'll get him behind the wheel this year, and he's sort of one of those kids that when you get him to do something, he's extremely good at it, but you got to push him a little bit to get him interested. He does Taekwondo, and right now I ask him, "Hey, you ready for Taekwondo?" "No, I don't want to do Taekwondo." And we got to dress him and get him in the car and then head there. He's like, "I'm not really into it today." And then he gets there and he just blows my mind how good he is. So I think it's going to be similar with racing, and we'll just see if it sticks and if he's good at it and if he wants to do more of it.
I did see them at the track last weekend cheering you on, and I knew Ella was kind of upset about your ending your career behind the wheel. How were they watching you on your broadcast?
Yeah, no, they were great, and you saw them sitting next to the 24 car. I got a chuckle out of it because they wanted to go to the car, and I said, well, they know that I'm not driving that car anymore, right? But they're now also big Chase Elliott fans, so it's really cool. And yeah, there's some adjustment for all of us, but then they also came up to the booth and got to see me up there, so. They're excited. They still get to see me. It's funny, after Daytona, my daughter Alice, she goes, "You're still on TV. Actually, I think you're on TV more now, Papa, than you were before."